subscribe our channel, stay till the end of the stories for more twist and turn. Comment us about what kind of stories you like to hear. My 29 male wife, 27 female, was in a relationship with her cousin. I have a good wife, partner, or so I think. I am not really a needy person and sort of let her do whatever, especially since she takes most responsibility for raising our daughter. A bit about myself. My wife is my first serious relationship and I always had in mind what girl I wanted to go for, so when I first spoke with my wife she was everything I wanted and I fell pretty hard and fast. As our relationship grew more serious, I eventually proposed. She told me secrets about her past, for example being in an undercover sexual relationship with her cousin and him being the boy she lost her virginity to. She felt that since she had moved on emotionally there was no sense in avoiding her uncles/aunties/ that side of her family, as no one knew about the relationship and, as a result, still sees him time to time at family events. She decided to tell me this and I am the only person she has told, but this has stuck with me for a while. I would honestly prefer she did not tell me, but I accepted and gave her some respect for being open and thought the horrible feeling would pass. My biggest problem is I still see her extended family time to time since we are married, and her cousin, 28M, sometimes talks to me and he's always nice. It is such a conflicting feeling where I feel disgusted but also pity. She also gave me sexual details. A lot doesn't add up, but at the time I was quite shocked and curious. That is, their first time was a quickie with her auntie in the other room. Her telling me this changed my perspective of her, and no matter how much I try to remember all the good, this fact keeps jumping at my face, especially since that ex-partner of hers is still in our lives. It's like I have to carry their dirty little secret and live with it. I guess what's also worth discussing is that our sex life is almost non-existent since she is always tired or takes hours getting prepared, so that I do not have any interest when we actually get to it. She always wants it in the dark, and generally when we do have sex, it is boring. I don't really mean it since sex wasn't high in my priority list initially, except knowing about her kinky past. She seemed a lot more excited, willing before, and things she did with her cousin causes me resentment time to time. I have pretty low expectations of my marriage, like she can do whatever she wants as long as she doesn't cheat, and so that I am not constantly having arguments, because my daughter's interest is first and I want her to be happy. We have had arguments in the past and she has called the police over false domestic abuse claims and spends most time at her mom's, where she can have better support raising our daughter since I am working a lot. That was a while ago and I have overcome these things, but not the part about her cousin. Is there a future with my wife? I often think I married the wrong person, but we both have the best interest in our daughter, and a silver lining is that we both care and want best, a stable family for her. Any advice for overcoming some of these thoughts? How my relationship compares with others. This is my only serious relationship and it feels like it's just two people coexisting together. I am genuinely confused. I really don't think your relationship sounds healthy. This may be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I think you two need to have a long hard talk. This doesn't sound healthy at all, even without the cousin secret relationship secret. I know you want to keep things together for your daughter, but is your wife truly the role model you'd want your daughter to grow up with? The false domestic abuse claims are not good, and I hope they're not frequent. Those are serious claims to falsify, and if she's willing to go that far, who knows what else she'd do. It's easy to label anything as controlling and domestic abuse now, and that's why she got somewhere with the short time she was building a case. At the time our relationship was not great since she had her sister in her ear, militant feminist, interfering in our relationship. The only time I have raised my voice ever is when it has involved my daughter, but the false domestic abuse, which also results in free legal aid, was probably a ploy to put me in place and assert that she has control over our daughter over me. I guess I'll take some of the other posts on board. Counseling is a must, and while she has apologized and said she will never call the police again etc. btw, her excuse was mainly when I get angry I do things without thinking is not good enough. Talk to her about how you feel. Be open to her. What you are feeling isn't bad, even normal, but if you want to change something about it, then be as open to her as she has been for you. Sex-wise the same. Talk to her. Tell her that you like the sex you have but that it stinks when you think about that she also has had a kinky side that you haven't seen yet. Communication is the only way for you to make you feel better, which also will make her feel better in the long run. Bro, it's literally disgusting sleeping with her own blood. And put you in false domestic violence case. It's as utterly disrespectful, buddy. You are just with her because you have a daughter with her, and for your daughter convenience you are compromising your life. Man, there is time, take you space. What is the point of in a relationship when you ate disrespect? Humiliated. A marriage built on lies. Dating someone who is still entangled with his ex-wife and it's making me uncomfortable. I posted this as dating advice and now realize this might be a more appropriate spot. Read on and thanks in advance for any advice. So here's the story. I got divorced and didn't date anyone for 2 years. My ex-husband was highly abusive and the thought of being with anyone was terrifying for me. I just started dating casually again in January but wasn't interested in finding a relationship. I was just trying to get back out there. So in May, my high school sweetheart contacted me again for the first time in many years. He is my first love. We dated from the time I was 15 to right before my 20th birthday. I'm 34 now btw. I joined the military and things ended, but there was always a lot of love between us. He got married 4 years after we split and stayed with his ex for 10 years. I never contacted him during his marriage because I always knew we had that love between us, even after so many years, and that wouldn't be appropriate even in a friendly way. We've now both been divorced for 2 years at this point. We talked for a couple weeks and decided to get back together. Now I know we've only been back together for a little bit, 2 months, but something's about his relationship with his ex-wife make me uncomfortable, and I'm not sure if I'm being crazy or how I should handle any of it, or even if I should say anything at all right now. These things sound a little petty, but collectively they bother me. He still fixes her car. They still share all their streaming accounts. He still goes over to her house to do laundry. It was their house together at one point. They still share insurance accounts. These are just a few examples. They have 3 kids together, and that seems to be the reason for him doing a lot of things because they affect the kids. I understand this because I too have children, and I think a healthy relationship between parents is vital. But here's the kicker. He says he can't stand her. It seems to be more of a codependent relationship between the two of them rather than one based off of the understanding that they're both doing it for the children. Now I have to say, he has been very good to me since we've been together, and I know I haven't been easy. Dating someone for the first time since leaving a very abusive marriage is hard, and for the most part, he has handled it like a champ. He's super supportive and loving. So I guess I would just like to know what you all think about the situation, or if you have any advice how I should handle it. He goes to her place to do laundry? How is that related to kids? And joint streaming acts? I'd stay away. Sounds like there will be 3 in this relationship. That's kinda how I'm feeling. And of course I'm the outsider. We're gonna have a talk tonight about boundaries before this goes any further. For all the divorced people who I know, who cannot stand the ex, don't have anything to do with them except when it's about kids. Good luck sorting this out. If nothing else, at least you got your second chance. You don't have to wonder what if. Part of being an adult is coming to terms with choices that simply can't be undone and will affect the rest of your life. You are still stuck in the past that could have been. The only way to move on is to stop dating your ex from your youth and stop pretending you can rewind your life. There is a world of other men out there. What kind of message would it send to all of you two's children if you were to progress this to marriage or whatever, that they were all a mistake? You are still young enough to have more children. Would you two's children be your real children? This isn't working out. Move on. You might be right. We might be living out a fantasy. Who knows? I never thought we'd end up back together, so this all unexpected and confusing. Kids. Yeah, not gonna happen. We are both medically done having children. I'm not willing to just bail. It's not in my nature when I genuinely care for someone, but I do think you've made some valid points and we need to have real discussions about many things. Thanks for listening so far. If story have an update, we will post here. Like, subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.